Hey everybody, so today is going to be another what's for dinner video for our family of 5. So the first night, starting off strong, I did not feel like cooking anything that was on my menu plan. So my husband went up the street to the store and got these brats and some shells and cheese, and I served it with a couple sides of canned veggies, and it was a hit. You know, it's a quick and dirty kind of dinner. I just did not feel like cooking this night, so I just went ahead and stuck the brats in our vortex, which I will link down below for you, and then obviously the shells and cheese on the stovetop. But it was delicious, you know. It just kind of reminded me that sometimes you just need a quick and easy meal, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it because you're still feeding your family, and the kids loved it. The rest of the family also had some buns on their brats, but I'm not just a big bun person when it comes to hot dogs or brats or any of that kind of stuff, so I just kept mine plain, but delicious nonetheless. So the next night here is a chicken, biscuits, and gravy type of meal. I threw this together one night years ago, just hoping it came out as well as I had it thought of in my mind. But you're just gonna need whatever canned biscuits you prefer. I get mine at Aldi, they're really great. And then a couple cans of cream of chicken soup, and also some sour cream. I had my husband grill up a couple of chicken breasts before this video so I could shred those up. You're going to need whatever kind of chicken. I've made it with rotisserie, frozen fajita, like whatever floats your boat. Use that kind of chicken. But right here, I'm just using what my husband had grilled up for me. But we're basically just going to throw a bunch of things together. So in this next clip, I have a bowl full of the condensed cream of chicken soup along with the sour cream. And I'm also thinning it with chicken broth. I forgot to mention that here, but it is part of the recipe. And as you can see, this is the texture that we're going for. I'm showing you that I did thin it out with the chicken broth. And after that, you're just going to add in the chicken. Now, normally I make this in my Instant Pot. However, I knew I had a bunch of those kind of recipes in this video, so I was trying to make something different for you guys. It's so much easier just to make your chicken in the Instant Pot and then also add all this stuff in, and you can warm it up in there. It's one pot. I use 3 different dishes doing this. So you can do either way, but I would recommend the Instant Pot. And if you guys would like me to show a different video showing how I do that, I definitely will. But this is a very quick and easy dinner. It's also very cheap. It's just so good. I know it looks pretty basic and plain, but don't knock it until you try it. It's honestly one of my favorites, and my kids too. So the next night is another thing that's been around in our family for such a long time, and I don't think it's anything new to the internet, but it's just like this ham stew kind of thing. I used to call it sausage stew because I used to put chicken sausage in it, but my husband and my kids prefer it with ham. I prefer it with the chicken sausage, but really it's a testament to all the different kind of meats you could throw in there. So you're going to need some potatoes, whatever kind of veggies. I've got sliced carrots here. You're going to need ham, or again, whatever kind. I used to get the chicken sausage from Aldi's, the spinach feta, I believe. Delicious. It goes really good in this. Don't let my family fool you. And then you're also going to need a whole carton of beef broth along with a couple cans of green beans as well. I like to do one French style and one just regular cut green beans. And then you're also going to need some garlic powder, some Italian seasoning, wow, I can't speak tonight, and then also some onion powder. And I don't add this into the recipe. I do it at the end for just Mark and I's bowls, but I also add in some Tony's with more spice. So normally I also do steak seasoning, but we didn't have any that night. So here I'm just showing you my atrocious ability of cutting up potatoes. Yes, I scare my husband. He is a safety freak, and I make him nervous when I cut things. That's why I don't really show it, because I'm not an example of how to do it. But I did want to show you guys how I basically cube things up. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect and symmetrical, and there's no real size we're going here for. Just as long as it's not a whole potato, it'll be okay. So you just want to put the potatoes in the bottom of the Instant Pot. And then on top of that, we're going to add in the ham, or, you know, whatever you're going to be using, and just make sure it's distributed evenly. That's all we're going for here. It doesn't have to be perfect placement or anything. You just want to make sure that it doesn't get lopsided or weird or anything, so everything can cook nice and evenly in there. And then after that is when I do the seasoning. So I'm just going in with the salt, pepper, and then obviously everything else that I've already mentioned to you. And again, I just leave the Tonys out until the end. And then I'm putting in the vegetables. I'm layering those as well. And normally I have to scoot them around with my hands. And then lastly, I go in with the beef broth. Now, it's not going to be enough to cover it, but trust me, it's plenty. You really only need, I think it's half a cup or 1 cup in an Instant Pot. You don't need a whole lot of liquid. I'm just doing it because it's a stew. So I'm putting a bunch in there and it comes out fabulous, guys. So obviously lock it, seal the vent, and then you're going to want to put this on high pressure for 8 minutes. And you want to turn off the keep warm feature because you're going to do a quick release when the timer goes off. And then when it does, it looks like this, pretty undisturbed. So you just go in and you mix it up, and you're going to want to let this sit for a little bit because it is hot, as you can see. But the potatoes do crumble a bit, but they're not overcooked, so they're not like turning into mash or anything. But this is so, so good. My only recommendation is that you plate it pretty quickly after it's done. Like, set it in a bowl and toss it every couple minutes so it can cool down for you because it is so, so hot. But yeah, this is a look at me and Mark's bowls. It's a quick and easy, delicious dinner. It's so warm and filling. And this is also when I add the Tonys in. And this just takes it up a notch. If your kid likes spice, by all means, add it. But our little girls, not so much. So the next night, another Instant Pot. See what I meant by a couple recipes back? I knew I used it a lot in this video, but honestly, that's just true. So you need some ground turkey. We're going to be making a goulash. I don't think I said that. I don't know if it's true goulash. It's just what I grew up with, and that's what my mom called it. So that's what I'm calling it. You're going to need some elbow macaroni, some marinara. I have Rayo's, of course. I can't go back to anything else. And then whatever kind of garlic bread floats your boat, and some vegetables of your choice. Not going in the dish. You're also going to need some chicken broth, I believe, at some point in this. Again, another recipe where I was just going by the fly here. So there's a look at the seasonings you're going to need. Brown your meat in the Instant Pot on the saute feature, and after that's done, you're going to put in the dry macaroni and make sure that's even, and then just enough chicken broth to go right underneath the macaroni. As you can see, it's not covering it. And then with the marinara, I put enough just to cover the macaroni. So it ended up being a little less than like 1/4 of the jar. And then I'm putting on my Instant Pot and I'm cooking it for half the time that the box of your pasta recommends. So that macaroni was supposed to cook for 4 minutes. I put it on for 2. And then you do a quick release with any kind of pasta. And the fat from the ground turkey makes it so it's not sticking all over the place. I added in the rest of the marinara, and bing, bada boom. So easy, so good. I feel like I've said that a lot this video. But if you could not tell, this week I was feeling quick and easy. Wow, that came out wrong. I meant my food. Anyways, Crockpot dinner. Here we go. This is the easiest roast you're ever going to find. And not to be TMI, but it's IBS friendly, or at least my IBS friendly. I can't do butter. I can't do whole sticks of butter. There's a lot of great roast recipes that include a whole stick of butter. And are they delicious? Yes. Does my stomach like them? Absolutely not. So you're going to need a chuck roast of your pick, also a ranch Italian and brown gravy packet, along with a 1/2 cup of water, some potatoes, and any veggies that you like. I just did carrots here. And I don't know where my packet of brown gravy went, but I usually use it. You're just going to put that in the 1/2 cup of water and mix them all together. But this is lawless cooking, so it's a good example of how, like, I totally miss the brown gravy apparently in this, and it still turned out great. So there you go. If you don't like brown gravy, you're completely fine to leave it out apparently. So I just put enough of that in the bottom and start doing this to my crock pot just to get a little bit of, a coating down there. And then I go ahead and I just stick my chuck roast in there. And after that, I go ahead and I add in the potatoes. Normally I dice them up smaller, but this day I had not. They were a little bit larger. So they were not fitting around the roast as they normally do. And you see me lose my patience here in about 10 seconds, and I just dump everything right on top. There we go. Yep, in the true spirit of things. And then you go ahead and you drizzle the rest of that on top of everything. It's not going to seem like enough liquid, and I promise you it is. Just make sure that you also get a spatula and you get in there and you get every bit of that 1/2 cup in there. But the roast is going to make its own juices, so you don't need a ton of liquid in there. So I put mine on low for 7 hours, or you can do it on high for 5, but I would really encourage the low for 7 just because it gives a tenderness that is just, oh, chef's kisses. So, so good. So yeah, this is just a look at everything beforehand. I did not go into any of these clips adding more liquid or stirring or anything. You can pretty much set it and forget it. So here I am 7 hours later. I go ahead and I temp it just because, you know, I know roast beef is supposed to look like this, but the pink just always throws me off. So I'm going to temp it just to be safe. And as you can see, all that liquid, it's so tender. This was fabulous. And I didn't even notice when I was eating this that I forgot the brown gravy mix. It was still so, so good. And I know it's delicious with the brown gravy mix because that's typically how I make it. So yes, this is my super easy, really friendly, like beginner roast. It's so good. You can't mess this up. And don't mind the pumpkin seeds in the back. We were carving jack-o'-lanterns this night and we were making pumpkin seeds. So yeah, give this a shot. It is so, so good. So the next night is a TikTok dish that I had tried a different night that I did not film because I want to make sure it came out okay. But you're going to need some pasta. This is the one that I went with. It's just a favorite in our house. We love it. And then also some Parmesan cheese, some tomato paste, heavy whipping cream. You're also going to need some minced garlic and also some onion. I can't remember how much onion I cut up. I think it was about half. It didn't look like an excessive amount like I normally do. So that's what I'm going to go with. And then for seasonings, I just added the Tony's More Spice, some crushed red pepper flakes, and some Italian seasoning. And the side this night, I was going to make my broccoli that I put in our vortex. So I just put some grapeseed oil and some garlic powder on it, and that's all that I do. It's delicious. Then I air fry it, and it's so, so good. And yeah, I'm just telling you that I'm going to make the sauce first, and then once that's done, I'm going to start with the pasta. And when I start the pasta, I'm going to start the broccoli, basically. So you want to start off by sauteing the onion and the garlic together until it's translucent, golden brown, that kind of good stuff. You know when it's done. And then after that, you're going to put in some lemon juice. I think I forgot this in the ingredients, but I didn't add the lemon juice the first time I made this, and it was perfectly fine. So if you don't have it, don't worry about it. And then I put in the whole jar of tomato paste, and here I'm thinning it out with water. The actual recipe that I'm going to link down below said pasta water, but obviously my pasta wasn't done yet, so that's why I'm just adding regular water. You could use broth or whatever you want. And then you thin it out with heavy whipping cream. And I didn't measure this. I just went by the color that I saw in all the different recipes. It's just basically like a reddish orange kind of color. So that's what I was going for here. There's a look at everything once it's cooked down and mixed in. And I took it off the heat when I added the spices. And then I also added in the Parmesan cheese after this as well. And it's not on the heat, it's just whatever the pan still has left heat-wise is just warming it all up, because this kind of pasta takes no time at all. And I literally just took it right from the pasta pot with a slotted spoon and put it right on top of the sauce. And oh, so, so good, guys. I love making this. It's really easy. I doubled this recipe, as you can see. So if you want to make half this, obviously half this whole recipe, but I wanted leftovers, and it was more than enough for my family of 5 plus the leftovers. So it was really, really great. And then I also obviously had the broccoli too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this What's for Dinner video. I was just feeling some really cozy fall meals, and I thought I would share them with you guys. Let me know down below what your favorite dinner is during the fall time. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching!